All right, well, welcome back to video 2 of our Getting Started course. And in the last video, we talked about introduction to the drum set, and then now in this lesson, we're going to talk about stick control, so the proper way to hold your sticks and make sure that everything's going smoothly. So the first thing is you guys can do this on a practice pad or a snare drum. Typically, I would do this on a practice pad in one of my private lessons, but why not do it on the snare drum? Same thing. So the first thing is take your right hand and make kind of a pointing motion with your hand, and on that first knuckle, the first crease of your pointer finger, I want you to take the stick and rest it on there. So it's going to be just like that, if you can see that. And you're going to hold it with your thumb and hold it about 5-6 inches above your snare drum, and then just release your thumb and balance the stick on that first little crease of your finger, so like this. If I was to hold the stick back here, you'd see that the stick wouldn't have any rebound. It would just fall, and that's it. So that would be like this. And maybe even the stick would fly out of your hand too. So let's try to keep it up a little bit more, not in the center of the stick, but about 1/3 of the way up, right about there. This is called your balancing point. And then you're going to rest all of your fingers on the stick, palm down. Make sure that the stick is going at the same angle as your arm, not like this, not like that. And then we're going to use our wrist to go up and down motion on the snare, and you can even use your fingers, and that's going to look like this. So one of the first rules about drumming is the faster you want to go, the more fingers you're going to use. All right, so your arms are only for different locations around the drum set and moving around. You're not going to get speed by using your arms. All that speed comes from your fingers and wrist. So we're going to try that same thing with our left hand, and try to keep your arms straight and use a combination of fingers and wrist like this. One thing you can do is hold the stick up towards the taper of the drumstick, and then you have the handle part. It's going to stick down. Make sure you don't hit your elbow. And just as you would play on your snare drum or your practice pad, use your fingers and wrists, and try not to use your arms a whole lot so you get this. Your left hand. See, if my angle of the stick is this way, you're not going to hit the bottom of the forearm. The goal is to use your fingers and just strike the bottom of your forearm like that. So you can play your different rudiments, which we'll talk about later, all on your forearm, just like that. So same thing on the snare drum. It's going to sound like this. All right, so notice I was just using more wrist and fingers. I wasn't going like that with my arms. So remember, fingers and wrists is for more speed, and your arms is just for moving location, coming down on your crash cymbal or moving to your floor tom. You got to use your arm to give a little bit more emphasis on some notes. So remember that. Speed, more fingers. Movement, more arms. All right, so this concludes our second video of stick control. I'll see you at the next lesson, which we're going to talk about counting.